Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video and welcome back to Spectating Challenger. So today we're going on, of me recording this, the Rank 2 EUS Challenger player, which is SK Janax. I know SK Gaming is a pro team, so I don't know if this person's in that squad or whatever. But yeah, they're Rank 2 at the moment, and we're focusing in on Katarina. A couple of reasons why I wanted to focus on this episode. One, we all know when I watch these videos, it's generally a good performance by the player. But secondly, I believe they're against Qiyana, the new champion. And I personally, in, I don't know, the 20 or so games I've played since that Qiyana's been launched, have not had a single one in one of my games. It's banned in maybe a quarter of the games, but no one picks it. So I want to see what happens. You know, does she seem weak in this type of game? The general consensus is that she is pretty bad, but I do know some people have had good performances with her. So, yeah. But what I think the biggest thing with Qiyana and why she's like what seems to be lackluster is Riot constantly, for the past couple of years, has just launched... Yeah, there we go. It is the matchup. Has launched champions with overloaded kits. There's just so much that they've got going for them. Zoe, Pyke, Nico, all of a lot of stuff that their kits do. Qiyana doesn't. You know, she's relatively basic. She is, in essence, an auto-attack champion. So, yeah, I think that might be her main issue. So, watching a Katarina, which, by the way, generally is what you'd most likely deem a one-trick champion in SOLOQ, or you're just a god at the champion, or you're just like, you know, like this rank 2 challenger can probably play anything in mid lane. It'd be interesting to see how this, you know, what happens. So early advantage, it does seem, is going to Qiyana a little bit, and that might be because, again, Qiyana is deceptive, even though she does spell casts, etc. She is an AD assassin, so her auto-attack damage, her base auto-attack damage, in theory, should be higher than Katarina's. So Katarina, I believe, would be waiting until level 3 before they even try to make a move. So farm-wise, doing really very well with farm. You saw that she used E very quickly to get the last bit of farm. Missing one minion there, I think, but yeah, not bad at all. But the Qiyana so far has missed no farm. So one farm difference because the tower got one. So let's see. Like, I'm expecting some aggression maybe from the Katarina at level 3, possibly. And also it'll be interesting to see what element the Qiyana generally is going with. When I play-tested her quite a bit, it did seem the wall element was the strongest. But here we go. So nothing really going crazy. That, I believe, was the wall element, which is the execute, by the way. It does bonus damage when someone's at low health. I believe the bush one is the invisibility, and the river one, or the ice one, is the one that, you know, does the slow and stun or root. No, root it is. Alright, so river play happening. Sejuani getting caught, but Rakan comes to the rescue so far. Elise getting caught herself. Katarina going for it, gets first blood. So one thing to point out, and again, this is something that I've had to deal with in recent games. One team is being what you'd call proactive, and like they're reacting to the play. So if you actually notice, even both bot laners moved for this play. Sejuani was obviously there, and Katarina moved. 4 people reacted quicker than Qiyana reacted, and the enemy bot lane are still visible in bot lane. They have not moved. And again, remember, this would be very high challenger MMR right now, so that is just worth noting that, yes, it still happens in this rating. So I believe Qiyana... Oh, she just turned invisible. I don't think will get away here, and she will go down. So there is a double kill for Katarina, and obviously a good play, flashing over the wall after the Elise, using her Ignite, and now double buff Katarina. So again... Many people would also, I guess, consider Katarina as a snowball champion, but this is where we can see, you know, how does she snowball? So there's the lovely challenger recall again that not many players get to see often. But yeah, so like some people say, would I recommend Katarina to the average player? And the honest answer is not really. I personally wouldn't even play Katarina myself. Like, she's very hard to pull off, and in all honesty, she's relatively easy to counter. And you've got to be incredibly good Katarina to put off in mainly decision-making. Obviously, mechanics, that goes without saying. You got to know your combos and when to do what. But for decision-making of when is the moment to go in is the most important thing with Katarina. Because if you go in too early, you'll get CC'd and killed. If you go too late, you might have missed your opportunity. And again, that is, I think, true for Katarina more than like any other champion. Because it's that massive ult that you can kill 5 people. So yeah. So Jace dies in the top lane. I will also say I've heard rumours here and there that they are reversing Jace's nerfs because they did over-nerf him. And again, time and time again, we've said why win rates aren't an indication of something being strong. A lot of people considered Jace being strong. Riot considered Jace being strong. And he was over-nerfed. And overall, he had a 48% win rate when he got nerfed. A negative win rate when he got nerfed. It dropped to a 46% win rate after the nerf. Like, they should have nerfed him because, again, win rate doesn't equal how good something is. Meanwhile, Katarina going aggressive, does a bunch of damage. Over half health is the Qiyana, and that is a nice little trade. But yeah, they should have nerfed him a little bit, but not that much. Like, that was a crazy nerf. And I also will say, as a preemptive, this video would have been coming out on my birthday tomorrow. I'll just say thanks, everybody, for the support that the channel has been receiving. You know, when it comes to holidays and birthdays and stuff, it's always like a time of a bit reflection. And genuinely, I want to say thanks. I think things have been going pretty good recently. And obviously, well, again, from memory, I believe today's episode of Climb to Master, or the main account series, would have shown we did demote out of Master, but it's fine. We'll get Master again. You know, I'd love to finish the season in Master so we can get the Master emblem, but we've been there. I think the highest rating we got was 43 LP in Master. But yeah, we'll get it again in the next couple weeks, I'm sure of it. But I am back to playing mid lane, and that's why I'm actually looking at this game. Because one, you will play against Katarinas, and two, because of the new champion Qiyana, I don't know this champion very well. I'm not interested in playing her. Maybe I will until I see, you know, what does she do. I'm not convinced yet. But this is helping me kind of go, you know, what to do against her. And obviously I don't play Katarina, but when you're watching things, you get to learn. Like, some people say, Huz, aren't these episodes for champions you're interested in playing? Yes and no. Sometimes these episodes are for if I want to learn more about a champion, not just pick it up. And Katarina and Qiyana are both champions I think I need to learn more about. Because Katarina is, if you guys didn't look statistically, the most one-tricked champion in League of Legends. If you go on like League of Graphs, I think it is, there's a way to do the filter. Yeah, she's, well, in the top 3, at least, one-trick champions in League of Legends in high rating. I think it's like Katarina, Shaco, and it might be Yasuo are the top 3. And then if you break down, it's a wonderful thing to do, I would recommend it, because I like data and stuff. You can break down 2 different types, the average rank by a main of a champion, and the average rank of pure one-tricks of a champion. Yasuo is one of the lowest rated one-trick champions in the game. I think the average Yasuo one-trick is Silver 3. Meanwhile, roamed by Katarina, gets the Ignite, gets the Q Dagger. That's all you need to do, nothing more. And she gets herself another kill. So again, really nice play by Katarina. You know, she's out-roaming the Qiyana now. Again, why would you do that? Can she kill the Qiyana in a 1v1? Well, maybe, but if the Qiyana plays safe under tower, the answer is probably no. So look for those roams. You need to continue your snowball on the Katarina, and that's what she's doing. So overall, pretty good. She still's got a farm lead, by the way, in this game. So yeah, it's completely fine to do. You can see Qiyana is thinking about going for the roam, but notices there's a control ward, so she'll probably give up on the roam because she got spotted. And Jace, by the way, right now, if you didn't see in the map, he stole that blue buff. So Qiyana having a little bit of a fight. Sejuani actually does kill the crab, though. Alright, item build for Katarina. Normal build is Gunblade nowadays. It's a great dueling item. It actually gives her a lot of auto-attack damage. All in happening. Qiyana ultimate hit. Hardly any damage. Sejuani ult comes in as well. Again, that was basically the full combo by a Qiyana. It did less. I know, obviously, the Katarina is stronger, but it did less damage than the Katarina did without her ult. Like, that was the full Qiyana damage. Nothing happened. It's weird. And again, she hasn't got any damage items, so that's maybe why, but it just... in testing, I got fed on that champion multiple times. I did the assassin build and still felt like I did no damage. It was insane. So I don't know what build she'll be going for. Maybe a Black Cleaver Rush? Like, again, I tried the on-hit Bruiser build because I was like, maybe that's better. It did feel strong after 2 items, but I just don't know. I really don't know. Right, so let's go focus back on the Katarina. Big play happening, potentially in the enemy jungle. Sejuani finding the enemy Elise. Katarina is on her way. Elise actually flashes. Will she escape? Jace coming in over. A little bit too aggressive. I believe this will be a big dive. Sejuani is confident to go for it. They are waiting for Katarina maybe to go in. Sejuani getting a bit caught. She will go down to the tower. So this has actually gone pretty bad. If you actually notice, though, who hasn't moved? Qiyana. Qiyana did not move. If Qiyana roamed from that point and flanked the Katarina play, they might have been, you know, the blue team. Meanwhile, she gets caught now. She does stealth away using the bush element. And again, remember, I know it's technically called brush. I don't call them brushes, I call them bushes, so that's just going to be something that I call them. And I think, you know, when I tested the champions, like, who calls it brush? Vast majority of people don't. So, yeah, I think maybe Riot tried to say brush for some reason, but it's a bush. Meanwhile, Jace got a kill, by the way, on the gangplank after that, so it didn't turn out too bad. And the enemy bot lane, Yasuo's dying, and that technically was a 3v2. Again, a little bit of an obviously unconditional lane here. And, you know, funny thing is, I've got this guy, SK Kundai. I noticed that we did a spectate video of him, and then I realized I've got that guy on my friends list. And he's in my SOLOQ folder, so I must have played SOLOQ with the guy maybe back in Season 3, and obviously, you know, when you're playing with the same people, sometimes you add them. And yeah, he's on my friends list, and he was like top 10 challenger at one stage or thereabouts, so I was like, damn. Alright, so Qiyana's going for her first roam. Elise going for a gank. She smites the Rakan to try and slow him, but nothing comes of it. You can see Sejuani might have been an off-put to the enemy team to try and do anything there. But yeah, a bit of a weird bot lane coming out. Obviously, Yasuo and Gragas. I guess the idea is Gragas E ultimate to give the Yasuo ultimate, which I guess could work. But again, I'm not a big fan of having unconventional things in bot lane. I know a lot of people enjoy it, and if you do, that's fine. It's not for me. I'm a bit more boring in what I like. I like my AD carries in my bot lane. I like a normal support in the bot lane, you know. That's kind of who I am. And it's going to be hard to change that because that's just the way I've liked since the meta formed all the way back in Season 1. And again, that's why I didn't like the Sorcerer meta in bot lane and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just me. But, you know, I accept that. I can't change the game. But, yeah. So you can see Elise at this stage of the game, it kind of feels like she's living bot lane now. Now, you may be like, why is she living bot lane? The answer could be kind of like a leaky ship, that she kind of senses her bot lane is suffering a lot. Meanwhile, Katarina go for a full engage. Qiyana literally doesn't seem that she can get away. She does get the ult off. Sejuani does it, and then a flash is needed to finish off the kill. Yasuo dies again, by the way, and there you go. But yeah, it could be like a leaky ship that at least senses my bot lane is not doing well. I need to try and help them. And in the weird thing, causing more aggression play is happening to a just superior Xayah Rakan lane is actually causing more bad things to happen. Sometimes the weird thing, even if you want a lane to win and you're a jungler, sometimes going to that lane and forcing aggressive plays to happen is actually the worst thing you can do for that lane. Which is weird, but yeah. Because it's also the premise of when you're a jungler going to a lane again and again and again and again, a lot of the time that will also attract the enemy jungler to then start going to that lane, and then you've got to ask yourself the question, do we win the 3v3? And right now with this comp, you know, Yasuo, Gragas, Elise versus Sejuani, Xayah, Rakan, do they win that 3v3? Honestly, probably not, if like they don't get the knock up on stuff on the Xayah. Like if Xayah just does really well. Something just leaked from my roof, that was weird. Honestly, like, something just dropped on my arm. I don't know if a leak just happened. I'll have to check that after this video. But yeah, the weird thing is I'm on the top floor of the house as well. The attic's above me. Oh no. But yeah, so if Xayah does well with her ultimate and avoids the knock-up, then I don't think they win that 3v3. Right, so she's got her completed Gunblade. Again, Qiyana's build is still confusing me. Remember, everybody, she is supposed to be an AD assassin. Where's the AD assassin element to that build? It's not there. She's rushed tier 2 Merc Tread boots to survive rather than do any type of damage. It's just weirding me out. Alright, so obviously red team got a pretty big lead at the moment, nearly 4,000 gold at 14 minutes. Also got the 2 dragons of the game right now, including Infernal Dragon and an Ocean Dragon, which is actually statistically the best dragon in the early game. nearly a full engage, getting the kill, but Qiyana uses flash to make her escape, and nothing probably will come of that moving forward. Again, the Qiyana ultimate, I will say, does seem useful. She's survived several times because of that ultimate knockback into a wall, but it just does no damage. Like, I don't know, maybe it's not supposed to. Maybe Qiyana is an auto-attack champion, and that is where her damage comes from. So if she has a bad game, generally pure auto-attack champions, if they have a bad game, they have a really bad game, because the auto-attacks scale with items. So a roam coming from Katarina looking for, I don't know, the enemy jungler. Maybe just doing scouting, not looking for aggression at this point. But does a bit of a roam, nothing comes of it. Return to mid lane and probably pushing up. Goes full aggressive. Pretty lazy play happening by the Qiyana there. And Katarina gets a full kill. So again, what you're witnessing from the rank 2 US player of this recording is when an opportunity is given, they take it. And that is, I'd say, a big difference. When people ask me, what's the difference between low rating and high rating? That is a big part of it, is when mistakes happen in every rating of the game, more mistakes happen in low rating, but what happens in low rating is those mistakes generally don't get punished much. In high rating, obviously less mistakes happen, but the mistakes that do happen, meanwhile Elise is hiding in a bush, and full aggression comes out by the Katarina. This is probably a dead Elise. Boom, Sejuani picks it up, and then they'll go for the enemy bot lane onto the tower. But yeah, generally what happens is higher rating, they make less mistakes, but the mistakes that do occur, like that Qiyana basing under tower, mispositioning, not being quick enough, they get punished really quickly, like that Katarina, instant, like no thought, like, well, to a lot of people there would have been no like thought in that, it would have just been pure instinctive go in. But this Katarina, meanwhile, another Sejuani ultimate coming in. You can see Katarina being a little bit hesitant because the Yasuo's nearby. Katarina does not have her ultimate at this point. Qiyana ultimate gives Yasuo his ultimate, and now the aggression might start to commence. Boom, one kill. Yasuo gets a double knockup. Katarina survives with the skin of her teeth thanks to the daggers on the floor with her passive. Very clean play by Katarina, so that makes her now 503. Item build wise, obviously got a tier 2 boots as well. We'll be now building into, I would presume, a Morellonomicon, and there you go. So, very clean. So, item build again by Qiyana. It does look like she's going for the Black Cleaver, by the way, which, again, I play tested the Bruiser build, which I did it in top lane, not mid. So I don't know if this is the type of game that this player is just doing it because they're having a bad game, and maybe it would give them more survivability, or they, you know, is that genuinely what people believe is her best build? I've got no idea when it comes to Qiyana. Again, haven't seen personally somebody that's popped off yet in my own eyes. I know people have, obviously, but just very confused about the champion. Right, so bot lane is pushing now, so you may ask, why would Katarina go bot lane? Well, one, again, in this rating, we've spoken about it before, split pushing is a very important thing in the higher rating. In League in general, it's fairly important, because you're splitting the XP, it means you're not sharing team XP, so you can all level at a faster pace, you're not sharing gold, you're getting your own gold, so it's a very, very important thing. I'd love to split push more in my games. You guys see me wanting to split push, but the common thing that always happens, I don't trust my team, they get caught. The difference being in a high challenger game, this Katarina, I believe, would have full confidence in her team. You know, they're winning the game quite convincingly at this point. It's going to be hard for them to throw even if they get caught. So she has full confidence to do this split push. And that is something that I'd love to have in my own games because, yeah, it's a big gold income. Like, how do you break into... Like, right now, she's got 148 farm. You know, a lot of people go, how do you break into having 250 farm at 25 minutes? Vast majority of the time, it's split pushing. Vast majority of the time. All right, Gragas having a little hello with the Katarina. Katarina took a little while to react then, but then goes full aggressive, and Gragas will go down. Not even close, baby. So again, a little bit of a mistake by Gragas, instantly punished. You know, just full aggression by the Katarina, knows how much damage she's dealing, and to be honest, on the enemy team right now, no one can survive. Maybe Gangplank, because he's actually having a pretty good game, and to be fair, this Gangplank having this quality game, getting a double kill in a 2v3, in a 1v3, sorry, it's pretty impressive. His team is getting owned, he has 6 kills, the enemy team has 6 kills, Gangplank has all of them. So this Gangplank is actually pretty impressive, and maybe, again, I always say in these videos, let me know what you want to see. Maybe I'll do a Gangplank video coming up. If you want to see that, throw a like, let me know in the comments. But yeah, and again, this guy, ACD, I don't know if he's a Gangplank main, we could check him out maybe if he is. But yeah, pretty impressive that he's the sole kills on the enemy team when it's like unanimously going against him. You know, all the dragons, he has none of them. All the objectives, he has none of them. And he is actually still pulling out a really good performance. And again, part of that obviously could be that Jace is quite weak. But, you know, that goes without saying, Gangplank is not known for his strong lane phase. All right, so red team potentially getting caught a little bit, you know. There we go, 1 kill. Katarina now coming in the woodwork with the Sejuani come from the bot. Boom, full ingression straight away. They'll get the kill with the Gragas Ignite. They're going to continue most likely. Katarina may be looking for it, gets Gangplank barreled. Don't know if this will be the best play moving forward because the enemy team is quite together and the red team is quite split. There is your mid lane carry, ladies and gentlemen, doing nearly a full combo on the enemy support and dealing basically 200 damage. What? So she did go Black Cleaver, which is what I was guessing she would do. Again, still very weird. So there's the ice element, which roots the Sejuani. Katarina waiting in a bush to see if the enemy team would overextend. And at this point, by the way, Jace's bot lane doing what I literally spoke about, split pushing. The Jace trusts his team to do that split push. And yes, he's had a rough game, but he just got a tier 2 for his team. He's catching up with farm. That will help that Jace tremendously. And again, you only can do that generally if you know, trust your team. Well, there's 2 ways. One, your playstyle is split push, and you literally don't care what your team does. If they get caught, it's their problem. And those people would generally be the Tryndamere players, the Nasus players, and all those type of people. Also, I just noticed that it's nighttime, so I got to turn off my nightlight. Otherwise, I'll look like I'm from Essex with the orange. So I'll stop that. Aggression coming in by the enemy team. Double kill, or double knockup by Rakan. Gragas getting to the tail end, gives the knockup, but nothing comes of it. Yasuo, by the way, did have ultimate there, which he could have ulted the Xayah, but he chose against it. And Gragas potentially getting himself caught. Knockup by the Rakan. Feathers coming from the Xayah, and they will pick up the kill. Good Jace down here. Katarina is now in the mix. She gets 1 kill. Yasuo getting in the back line. Katarina ultimate coming through. She gets a double kill. Qiyana in the bot side did end up killing the Jace. Double kill by Katarina, gets herself a double buff. And that, by the way, was out without Sejuani. I presume Qiyana might be in this bush, by the way. Wait for it. Is in that bush. She's stealthing, probably about there, and she will go maybe not down. E to that, gives you the movement speed, and she will also go down, so there we go. Again, very clean Katarina play. So Qiyana does get herself 1 kill, but yeah, you just can't beat the smoothness, what I would say, of the Katarina. And if you kind of take into account that technically both of these champions, Qiyana's an assassin, Katarina is an assassin, they're worlds apart, and Katarina isn't even known as one of the most overpowered or even mainstream assassins. You know, Zed is more mainstream. Talon is more mainstream. Echo is more mainstream. And this is Katarina even completely outclassing a Qiyana. So, yeah, it's a bit weird. You know, I don't know. But again, props to the Gangplank. You know, he's not every kill on the enemy team now, but he's had a pretty good game, and he's had a pretty good game himself in what is a pretty rough game. So let's see how this game continues. So farm difference is about 40 in mid lane right now. Gold difference is around 4,000, maybe even more gold. Crazy difference in mid lane. So yeah, the biggest gold difference of 10,000 is definitely in the mid right now. And just waiting for her to maybe go crazy. Enemy team was looking for it. They are going crazy aggressive right now. Now, they might be doing this because the enemy team is like, screw it, we may as well. Katarina go for a big ultimate. She does get knocked up. She does get doinked. But she bought herself a Zhonya, by the way. So she is surviving the backline. And the whole enemy team gets utterly destroyed. Qiyana walks away, again, without really achieving anything. And that, honestly, is probably game. So it is. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This was a very clean Katarina. And also highlighting the new champion that I personally haven't really seen much about. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the new champion? What do you think of Katarina? And that'll be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on it, throw a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.